Well, mailbag time. I think I've got some review items in here, but I think you may have already seen these, and I'll explain that. I'm not sure, this might be review item 2, but anyway, we'll get stuck into it. Also have a really big package coming, piece of test gear. Hasn't arrived yet. I think it might be arriving tomorrow, so I'll add that on once that turns up, but you know, normally it'd be on the table filling the space up, you know. But as usual, start smallest to largest, and anything I can give you links for, I will. Right, saw these recently, I thought that's pretty cool, I'll get some of them. Nerds will understand. Stick this on the back of your car. 42. You have to excuse the noises like random beeps and the 3D printer noises. I've got my Bamboo Lab A1 running in the background there, and it's running through a UPS, and the UPS is being slightly overloaded each time the heater runs off the printer. What we've got here is some Blue Pill STM32s without headers installed, but they're included. Nothing too exciting there. And also got a ST-Link programmer as well. Now I've already got one programmer, I've got one spare STM32, and I used an STM32 recently on my Advantest display upgrade. First time I've ever used an STM32, and I think, well, now I've sort of dipped my toes into that, I suppose I can look into that a bit more, maybe look at other things I can do with STM32s. Anyway, so I've got some more, and another programmer. You always need a spare. You always need a spare. So if you haven't seen an Advantest display upgrade for the R6581T, the 8.5 digit multimeter, go back a few weeks and have a look. I didn't design it, I just built what somebody else had designed. LED tester. You can blame Big Clive on this one. He showed this. Here's instructions. Don't need them. No earthing, of course. It's basically a current source, and he generates high voltages, and he's using multimeter leads. Sharp probes on these too. These are quite nice in that way. But what Clive has found, that you can use this to test LEDs, and you can generate different voltages by shorting the leads out and things like that. So output's constant current up to 300 volts DC. I think it does like 80 volts and then 300 volts, something like that. And these are really cheap. So if you want to test an LED with this, obviously you want to get the polarity right, because otherwise you'll blow the hell out of it. But if you know the polarity of the LED, it's mainly meant for backlights on TVs, things like that. So you've got this high voltage backlight system on TVs, you can inject with this, and then you can check the backlight, see if it's functioning properly and that sort of stuff. That's the main reason for those, I think. It was really cheap. I thought, well, let's get one. And so Clive featured it, and he was surprisingly impressed by it, so I thought I'd get one as well, because I definitely have had times when I wished I had something like this. Obviously you can always cobble something together, but sometimes you want a proper tester. So two things in here. What we got? Oh, a little 12 volt accessory socket plug thing. 120 watts apparently, so they claim. So it's 10 amps, 12 volts. You can get into the packet. So this one is power delivery. This is 120 watts. So you can see there it does Type C, 5 volts, 9 volts, 12, 15 and 20 volts up to 5 amps, 100 watts on that one. And the USB-A can go up to 12 volts at 1.5 amps. So I actually had this for a specific project. What was that? Power supply for a soldering iron. Instead of using a 240 volt power supply, I could use this in a mobile situation. And here are some soldering iron tips. These are C65s, is known as, or FM65s in this case, this particular brand. These are using a Zotek soldering irons. And I didn't have any of these, only one came with the iron, so I had a choice of one tip. I thought I'd buy some more tips, they're not expensive. And it's like the T12 style, but they're shorter. A big package had a few packages inside it, so we've got some extra stuff. Got some little push buttons, different styles in there. These are the ones here that I've used recently, this style, in a remote control repair. And I noticed I didn't actually have that many of them. I thought, oh, let's get another selection of them. These sorts of things, you can never have enough. Interestingly, there's one style there which is not inside the case at all. Supposed to be 10 styles in there. See that? Supposed to be 10 different ones. That compartment's empty. Have they migrated somewhere else? It looks like they have, yes, 2 types in there. Or was that one of those ones? Oh, maybe it's migrated somewhere else. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. And here's some more buttons. How's that? And these ones are much like these ones, so I'll probably merge these together, just like an alternative, cheaper version of them. I realised, like I said, I didn't have many of them. I thought I'd better stock up on these particular styles. There's a particular one I wanted. Anyway, they've both got them in there. It's that one there. They're a slightly different assortment, so I'm going to merge them all together and make sure I've got them all organised properly. But these sorts of things really handy for fixing remote controls, like car remote controls, that sort of thing. They're coming really useful, and they're cheap. So why not get yourself some? Right, let's look at this thing now. Can I get through it with this? Oh no, drill knife time. I might have bought myself some feet. Yeah. So these are HP feet, and we've got a combination of plain feet and obviously the tilting bale rails as well. So these are used. They're not on new, they're also been pulled off bits of equipment. And that's fine, I don't care about that. But I've got bits of gear where I don't have feet on them. Not many, I've only got a couple of bits. I did buy some of these sorts of things before, a few years back now. You can actually get some brand new ones. That source seemed to disappear, I don't know. But anyway, I found these ones on eBay, and I've got myself quite a few feet here. I'm not sure I bought this many. How many's here anyway? We'll come back. I also went and checked the eBay listing, and it said 4 pieces, and I bought 2 of them thinking I was buying 8 feet. Yeah, I think what it meant was 4 pieces of 4 feet. If it was in 4 sets, it wasn't particularly clear. I assumed it meant 4 feet. I've got 32 feet with 16 tilting pieces. I've got a lifetime supply of HP feet. So,
you've got spare feet.
Maybe. Yeah, so I intended to buy 2 sets, and instead of that I've got 8 sets. That's fine. I just had to buy some more equipment to put them on.
I heard that.
So open this up with the real knife, because I know my normal knife won't get through this tape. This might be a review item because of the way it's wrapped up. It is. It's a FNIRSI internal resistance tester, HRM10. So this thing here can test cells and batteries and things like that for voltage and internal resistance. So if you've got a battery pack and you're trying to repair it, you can check the internal resistance for the cells or the pack itself, or even car batteries and that sort of stuff. Use it on those as well. Not sure what the maximum voltage was. 100 volts max, so lots of capacity there to testing packs of various sizes. But I'll be doing a full review on this, so make sure you watch out for that. So thanks a lot for FNIRSI for sending this to me. This is something I actually requested. I do actually have internal resistance testers already. I've got a couple. You always want to have spares, don't you? You need a backup. So I wanted to get this and compare it with my other equipment, see if it's nicer or not, or if it's got features which are slightly better than what I've already got, or it's just more convenient to use. Sometimes that's just the thing it takes. You know, something which is slightly easier to use can make the edge, even if otherwise they're the same. So anyway, I don't know if it's easier to use or not. We'll find out when we do the review. So make sure you watch out for that. Another box, which I think is a replacement item. Well, kind of a replacement. If it is what I think it is, I could be completely wrong. It is. Right. So I showed these previously in another mailbag. You may have seen it, I'm not sure when I've... Yeah, I think I would have published that one. So these are Zotek soldering irons. Zoyi ones. 2 different models. You've got a single tip soldering iron and the with one with multimeter. Now I showed this previously, so I'm not going to go too much into this. I'm going to do a full review on these. Now the ones that Zotek sent me previously were pre-release, like pre-production units, and they had a few little quirks, and I said to Zotek that it's probably best if they send me a more up-to-date version, because of the little quirks they had didn't look so great in review, and it's not what people are going to be getting anyway. So these issues have all been solved. This is what I'll be looking at. So I'll be doing a proper review on this, so watch out for this. So they both look very similar. They both got different feature sets. This one here powers it like that. but this has got a built-in multimeter, so I'll be doing a full review on these, so watch out for that coming out. And hopefully the little quirks I found in the original pre-release, like pre-production versions, have been solved in these. Okay, so when I powered them up, it said 1.4, version 1.4 on both of these. The other ones I've got were version 1.2 firmware, so they're a couple of versions newer. So I've already recorded a review on the original one, but because the little quirks ahead, I thought we should probably do it again, get the more recent version of them, and that's what they've done. So, shut up. Shut up. Trying to talk. So thanks Zotek for sending these to me as well for the second time. So I've now got 4 of these. So I'm interested to see how these later versions compare to the ones they've already sent me. As promised, the big box has arrived. I have to use a real knife on this because it's got reinforced tape. Now on the packaging it says it only weighs 10.3 kilos. I expected it to weigh more than that, but it could be nothing. So I'm keen to open up and just double check them. Hopefully there's no issues. It's well packaged, Defpom approved. Can you guess what it is? Come on, can you guess? Oh, here's on the bench. Just unwrap it. It's got seals on it, unbroken. Probably from the seller, I'm guessing. It was sold as working. Fingers crossed it actually is. There you go. It's a Fluke 720A Kelvin-Varley voltage divider. Little adjustments in there. It's nice. Let's stick a lid on this and get some basic resistances to prove there's something inside the box. So I thought it was going to be heavier than that. I've set the controls up to what I think they should be. So we'll check the input side, then we'll check the output side, and we'll see what we're getting. So I've set it to operate mode 1 times with no zeros, or all zeros down here, so it should be kind of straight through. You've got 1 input here and 1.1 input here. So let's check these. Getting 107.5. So in here we're getting 110. Okay, so if I do like 0.9, here you go, 100. That's a valid state because there's a divider. It shouldn't be doing a divide by 1. So I think that's correct. 100 there at 0.9 and 110 there. That sounds about right. Let's check the actual divider output. So we're getting 90 there. So we're getting on here 10, 100, yep. 80, yep, okay. This is looking promising so far. Just going to run through them all. And 0, yep, this is short. Sometimes I go right round, that says cow. Alright, so put it back to 1 and do the next one over. 9.1, 16.4, 99. I'm not quite sure what these are supposed to be. Don't know if those are right or not. Jumping up and down a little bit, I'm not quite sure if those are correct. I'm not quite sure how this actually functions in that way. Stepping up. This is behaving the same way. So it could be it's stepping through these output resistors and also on the input side as well. It could be stepping some of those input ones as well, which is why it does that weird steps in there. Where it sort of goes up and then it settles down and goes back the other way. Or something. Oh, this is an invalid state. So yeah, okay. It is seemingly doing something. Nothing's looking horrendous. Yeah, okay. I think they are behaving. Let's go down. Just do 10. Yeah, 10k, might be a bigger difference now. There we go. And that's doing the same thing as well. Yep. So around the middle point, it stops increasing and stabilises and goes back down again. Yeah, they're all behaving the same way. Yeah, all doing exactly the same things. It's obviously designed to work that way. So that's looking promising. Now, my next challenge is to figure out how to use it. I should open it and have a look inside, make sure it's all okay. I mean, it is sealed, but I don't like to break seals if something's working. I think probably what the best thing for me to do is to hook this up with some other gear and do some testing with it and just try and figure out how to use it. You can use a bridge and what have you. You can do that, so you can check for differences. And I've got a few bits of gear. Hold on, let me stack them up, I'll show you. I've been collecting a few pieces of gear recently. So the first thing I picked up was a 750 reference divider, which is this piece here. Right, move it around so you can see it. Haven't tested it yet. Don't know if it works properly. I don't know. It's a reference divider. It's similar to this in a way, but it's designed around having a null detector and a standard cell, and you can use this as a standard divider as well. You also got a lead compensator. This is meant for use with one of these, or both. Again, I don't know much about it yet. You can then check for a difference between two dividers. So it compensates for levers and stuff like that. That's why it's called a lead compensator. These three bits of gear I need to figure out how to use. But now we've got a full set, which is great. So if you've got experience with this gear, I know some people that watch my channel will have experience with this kind of gear. Perhaps you give me some pointers about how to use it. I mean, I've tried to read the manuals. Yeah. Yeah, the pictorials are more helpful to me. I like the pictures with the wiring. But yeah, I mean, you don't need this to use this. You don't need this. This is just a combination of equipment which you can use in certain circumstances. Like if I wanted to verify that this divider is working correctly against this one, I could use this lead compensator and a null feed. I actually have a Fluke 845AB, which I've done a video about before. So that's also used with this equipment in order to be a null meter to balance the bridge and stuff like that. So you make sure that they agree with each other. So I could test this against this or this against that, whichever way around you want to look at it. And you also use a voltage standard cell. I have a Fluke, was it 732A, is it? Something like that. Anyway, I've got a voltage standard over there which has 1.018 and is at 1.019 output as required by this. I'll show you those. Right. So those outputs there, it has those outputs on it. So I can do that. Also, I've got other sources I could use to generate that, so it's not like I have to use that particular thing, but it's designed for that particular job, because this is to replicate a standard cell. I've got to learn a lot about how to use this, how to use this, and how to use this. I've been wanting one of these for quite some time. Originally, when I started looking at these, they were relatively cheap. They're only like about 700 or 800 US, something like that. And then when I actually got to the point of thinking, okay, it's time to get one of these now, I'm going to splash out and get one, because I had other priorities, things I wanted to buy. The price had literally tripled. And to get one of these now, you're looking at a lot more than that. The seller dropped the price on it, I managed to jump on it. So that was quite good. So the price came down by about 50% actually. I think it's about 40% or something, dropped down by quite a significant amount. That was quite good that happened, because I had just enough money thanks to my Patreon supporters and my YouTube memberships. And also the little bit of money I earned from commissions on like the affiliate links I have on my videos for AliExpress and so on. All that money piled in, and I had just enough money to buy this. So that was quite good. So now I've got the full set, but yeah, like I said, I need to figure out how to use it. This thing has a battery in the back. It's got some alkaline batteries. I think it used to be mercury originally. It's got a couple of alkalines in there, some weird voltage. I might have to look at modifying this thing to use a different kind of battery. This doesn't take batteries, this doesn't take batteries, just this does. I'm glad I finally got one. Part of the reason I wanted one of these is because I've seen it mentioned many times in service manuals when I've been repairing a piece of gear. It says, here's a Kelvin-Varley divider to do this and this and this, and I've had to do like workarounds for that kind of thing and try and find alternative solutions, which have worked. But usually when a service manual says use this piece of equipment, it's better to try and actually use that piece of equipment. Obviously you can't always do that. Some equipment you just can't get anymore, which is why I tend to buy this broken gear and fix them up and put them to one side. So when I do get a situation where a piece of equipment requires another piece of equipment, I've probably got it. Like in this case, these require the Fluke 845AB, or the A. I've got one, so I can use that on these. Anyway, I've got the set now, so I'm waffling a lot because I'm quite pleased I've got these. This was relatively cheap. This is pretty cheap actually, this one here. That didn't cost that much at all. As soon as I saw this one, I kind of jumped on it. Now serial numbers. This is serial number 260. This is serial number 200 and I think it says 54. And this one is 527007. Sorry, 525007. But these are all the same era. They've got the same styling. You can get newer versions of these. They've got like the white knobs and they've got the darker handles as well. So they could be in chrome, they're black handles or grey or something like that. They're the newer version. are still relatively expensive. I think you can still get them new, but or at least these are all around the same time period based on the age. I mean, these two, they may have even gone together. They look so well matched like this, and the serial numbers are so close together, it makes you think these may have even been together. These both came from the same seller at different times. This was from somebody else. This may have been part of a calibration set. I suppose I should go and do some reading and figure out how to use this stuff now and maybe demonstrate it. But like I said, if you've got experience with this, please tell me in the comments any pitfalls, things to watch out for, basic operation for certain features, you know, depending on what you're doing, obviously. I've got a lot to learn. It can't be that complicated, surely, but it's a case of learning 3 instruments at once kind of thing, or even 2 instruments at once, probably. That's enough waffling. Right, other videos to watch down below. Subscribe over here, especially if you want to see these reviews of the FNIRSI meter here and the Zotek soldering irons. Patreon support link over there if you want to help me to buy some test equipment to put these feet on. Alright.